Today we're going to be learning all about sheep. It turns out that sheep are in fact some of the biggest jerks that you could possibly find out there. Alright? Don't let their looks deceive you. Yes, they're covered in wool that you could shave or shear off them and use as clothing. But that doesn't mean they're not a jerk. Wow, look at this great pasture that just appeared out of nowhere. This is such a beautiful place. But why is this sheep so close to me? Let's get rid of this one. Let's get rid of him. Put him up. Just go over here. There we go. Isn't this nice? Well, there are a lot of sheep here. To be honest with you guys, I really don't think this could possibly get any worse. Okay, I shouldn't have opened my stupid big mouth. So I'm gonna give you guys some ironclad examples proving that sheep are jerks, alright? And these were given to me by Fail Canceller in the chat, a professional sheep and a professional jerk. Imagine this. Picture yourself just standing there, fishing at a pond. Personally, I've never gone fishing, and I have a bad imagination, so I can't do that. But picture yourself fishing. You're just standing there, you know, trying to get some dinner, when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this happens. I assume this is a real clip, right, sheep? Like, this is an actual something that happened? What a jerk! Pushing you right in the water like that? But yeah, I think this actually happened. I don't know if it was staged or what the origin story of this is, but even seeing this gif alone is enough to get me to not trust sheep. All right, let's see another one. What did the chair do to him? He's just having a rage fit in your backyard. This is why people don't have pet sheep, you know. But I mean, dogs can kind of do this stuff too. And don't even get me started on cats. Cats can be real sassy. All right, let's see another one. When you're telling a story and all your friends lose interest, but you still have that one supportive friend who's giving you all their attention. Yeah, this is Moose when I'm streaming like SpongeBob. Remember when I played that game? It's just like one chatter. Sheep is disagreeable with your outdoor decor. Well, I got a question for you. What the hell would sheep be agreeable with? How do you satisfy a sheep? Huh? I didn't mean that in a weird way. I'm talking about like, how do you make it so a sheep's not gonna throw a fit or a tantrum, okay? All right, I got a question actually. Important question. Do sheep like being sheared? Did you guys ever see that picture of that sheep that has like a lot of wool because he was not sheared like for a long time? 80 pounds of, oh my God, this has gotta be fake. There's no way this is real. A 6-year-old sheep escaped and grew 60 pounds of wool. The sheep is pregnant. Have you heard about those people that like get pregnant and then they don't know they're pregnant and they just have the baby? I feel like this would be one of those cases. Like this sheep wouldn't know they were pregnant, or excuse me, shregnant. Things would just pop out, and when this sheep gives birth, the poor children would have to go through a maze of wool just to try to survive and have a chance at life. Damn, nature is so cruel. All right, next up. You're trying to drive. It's in the middle of Europe, okay? You're just minding your business. You wake up, you're trying to get to work, and you have to deal with this. This is not an American problem. You know why I could tell? Because look at the license plate, first of all. Second of all, I wonder if this is like part of the driving test in Europe, you know? It's like, all right, we need you to do the K-turn over here, and now you're going to drive through the alleyway with the sheep and make sure you don't hit any. If you hit one, you fail. All right, next up, sheep rage moves. Oh my God, this is some parkour. You guys all know when you were kids, you used to like jump up on stuff and like benches and do stuff like this. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't drop kick a guy off of a wall. What compelled this sheep to do this? No, I don't do parkour. I mean, I'm talking about like when I was little. Oh, hell yeah. Sheep surfing. Oh no, he fell. No. Oh wait, hold on a second. Isn't this actually a thing? Don't they have like sheep races? I'm pretty sure I've seen like sheep races before, where like they get a bunch of sheep and they put numbers on them on the side and they have them race around the track like horses. The sheep yearn for violence. Clearly. You know, everybody thinks that sheep are these passive, docile creatures, but when in fact, they have an inner rage. All right, we got ourselves the world's biggest jerk tier list. So this is our jerk tier lists, our categories here. At the top of the tier list, the jerkiest of all jerks are indeed sheep. After that, we've got New York City residents. If you guys haven't been to New York City, then you don't know what you're talking about. I've been there, okay? That's right under sheep. C, basically a jerk. And D, they can be rude sometimes. And then, of course, at the bottom, someone that's completely not a jerk and is the nicest person you could meet. And also very humble, Fox, yes. Why is Fox watching sheep? Look, okay, this is a torture stream. Alright, I haven't eaten in 24 hours. I said to myself, I'm gonna go live and torture myself, and it still won't be as bad as playing Bubsy or The Ring! By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this because I posted it in my subscriber channel on my ! Discord, but I couldn't use the word jerk as a tag for this stream because apparently Twitch thinks that's a bad word. I don't know what they were trying to imply with that. I couldn't say jerk. I couldn't say jerky. They wouldn't let me do it. I don't know what they're talking about. Let's get right into it then. Let's look at our first jerk of the tier list, and we're gonna decide where we want to put him. Now, this is gonna be a very wholesome experience. Nothing too crazy here. All right, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I mean, I can't put jerk as a tag, but we can have his face up there, right? He had one of the best lawyers of all time. If the glove does not fit, he must. he thought he was Bill Cosby. You know, if you like squint a little bit and look from far away. But yes, this is none other than O.J. Simpson, okay? As you know, this was kind of like when I was too young to really like follow it. Maybe we have some older people here that remember when this actually happened. Those two people died, they were stabbed, and then the police chased him in his white Bronco, and he didn't pull over. Then he went to trial, and then he got off. And then, much later on, I think in 2009, he wrote a book called If I Did It. But he didn't put the title in like one color, okay? Notice how like he put the if as the same color as his shirt. So it kind of just looks like I did it. How shameless is this guy? Clearly one of the jerks of all time. I think he did wind up going to prison for something later on in his life, but he did pass away. Anyway, let's put OJ on the list here. I think he's gotta be top tier. This list kind of makes Sheep look a little bad, but I'm not calling Sheep O.J. Simpson. All right, let's see the next jerk on the list. Who do we got here? Ah, yes, a classic historical figure, Napoleon. Right, from the French ancient times, right? We all remember this, how he kept France at war with Europe. You know, Europe was at war for 15 years under his leadership. And they suffered 3.5 to 6 million deaths. If you really think about it, OJ killed 2 people. He was cocky about it. Napoleon killed a lot more than that. Let's just put him at the top. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Thomas Edison. Back in the day when, you know, there was the competition between him and Tesla over electricity. Thomas Edison was a notorious jerk. Do you know why? Because he was a ruthless businessman. And he took credit for so many people's inventions, all for his own ego. Look at him sitting there with that thing he probably didn't invent. Do you guys know that Thomas Edison was in a war with Tesla about electricity? Like, Tesla wanted alternating current, which is actually the type of electricity we all use now in our lines, right? It gets transmitted by AC. But Edison wanted DC current. And to prove to the world that AC current was dangerous, do you know what he did? He electrocuted an elephant live. Look at this, with AC current. I don't know what this proves, okay? If you really think about it, anything could be dangerous if you use it the right way. It's like, oh, we can't use water. Look, I'm gonna put this elephant underwater and it's gonna die. It's really dumb. But yes, Thomas Edison killed an elephant just so people would use his products. And for that reason, I'm gonna put him on the Sheep tier list at the top. This is quickly becoming a meme. Okay, I got a great one up next, okay? This guy is a classic. He's been seen in many movies. If you've seen the South Park movie, you must know all about this guy. I'm talking about Kim Jong-il. Kim Jong-un's father. Do you guys know the lore on this guy? He has some crazy propaganda from his country about the things that he's done. Did you guys know that they teach in North Korea? This is what I've heard. They tell the people that Kim Jong-il has never taken a dump. Like, the leaders of North Korea, they don't poop. That is I found this out the other day when I was doing some research on this. I mean, maybe if I was there, I'd believe it. I don't know. Some other claims is that North Korean scientists have found unicorns. Yes, they've discovered unicorns. Kim Jong-il has bowled a perfect game, a 300 every strike game. When he plays golf, he's gotten 11 holes in one. He's written more than 1,500 books. It's so outrageous to me. Like, but I mean, if you think about it, like, if you were a dictator, like, would you do that? Would you just, like, get bored one day and be like, oh, man, I'm so bored. I just want to come up with, like, some crazy rumor that I could spread about myself. Let's see if people will believe it. I don't know. I invented, I can fly. I can literally fly. Just don't do it because, you know, people's heads would explode if they saw me flying in the sky. Picture a flying fox. What's next? A flying bobcat? Ah, yes, an American president. A notorious jerk. Andrew Jackson. Any students of American history know all about his antics. He was like a real rough around the collar type of guy. He loved dueling, and I'm not talking about Yu-Gi-Oh duels. He wasn't walking around, you know, colonial America with with a duel deck strapped to his wrist. No, he had a pistol, and he's dueled over 100 people, which is kind of impressive if you think about it. I'm talking about the type of duel from like Western movies where people would start facing each other, take a few steps in the other direction, and then turn around and shoot each other. And whoever gets hurt or dies first loses. Think about doing that 100 times and living to tell about it. What a badass. But also a jerk, because he did a lot of, you know, horrible things to to Native Americans with the Trail of Tears. I read that a Cherokee person actually saved his life in combat one time, but then later on he still went on to take the land from them, so it's high noon. Yeah, he must have had cheat codes. I bet Andrew Jackson had damn aim hacking. He was aim hacking back in the day. That's why he was able to survive so many duels. By the way, did you guys know that he got shot in the chest? He was in a duel with Charles Dickinson, and I'm not talking about the guy that wrote Oliver Twist. There was a guy named Charles Dickinson who accused him of cheating in a horse race, and because of that, they dueled. Andrew Jackson got shot in the chest near his heart, put his finger in his chest to stop the bleeding, and then killed Charles Dickinson. And he lived the rest of his life with that bullet inside of him. I don't know. Eeny, meeny, miny. Let's put him as a sheep. All right, next one on the list. We can't skip over this guy. This is somebody we have to give a little attention to. Anybody know who this is? He had sheep codes. I read that as cheat codes, honestly. I don't know. I think cheating in duels would really work out for him. It's not like his opponents could tell him he played unfairly afterwards. Yeah, like, that's what always, like, bothered me. It's like, think about the old days, like, during the Revolutionary War and how that was fought. It was, like, very, I don't know, how would you explain it? Like, it was very cordial. It's like, oh, yes, we respect you, and we're gonna have a fair fight, and we're all gonna go in the field, face each other, bow, and then pull our guns out, our muskets out, and fire. There was none of this hiding in the woods and ambushing guerrilla warfare. It was just very straightforward. But like, yeah, why didn't people just like, oh, we're gonna have a duel, take 8 steps in this direction, and then you take 6 steps and then just turn around and shoot him. Maybe that counts as murder though, and you get arrested, since you broke the rule of dueling. Looks like a king from England. Yes, it's King Henry VIII, aka the guy with the chicken turkey leg. But yeah, this guy is a notorious jerk, just like all the other sheep on this list, okay? He was an adulterer, yes. He had more than a couple wives. Because he couldn't get a divorce with the current religion in England, he created his own religion, his own version of the Church of England, right? So he could get his own divorces and stuff. A very hungry guy, very gluttonous. All right, let's see who else we got on here. I feel like I'm giving a little bit of a history class today. Feels weird. Oh, not him! Yes. We all know this face. Yes, on the $100 bill, he beheaded half of his wives for not siring a son. Well, at that point, like, is it their fault or is it his fault? Was King Henry VIII shooting blanks? Can I say that? That's kind of messed up. I mean, it's not kind of messed up. It is messed up. Anyway, speaking of messed up, we got Benjamin Franklin here, right? The guy who was out there in the lightning storm with the bottle and the key and you discovered electricity or something? I don't know. I don't know if that's true. It sounds like a wives' tale. What are you saying? What the hell to Benjamin Franklin? You should, because this guy's done some really weird stuff. You guys know about his behavior? You know what he's been up to? You know, he did invent a lot of things for our country, allegedly. They say he invented the library, but what about the library from Alexandria in Egypt, right? Like, there's been libraries all throughout history. Oh, but yes, he invented the library for America, for the West. I said what the hell to the beheadings. Yeah, for sure. It's like, oh, well, you better get pregnant or, you know, I'm gonna have to, hate to tell you this, I'm gonna have to chop your head off. It wasn't easy being a woman back then, especially because you had to be with King Henry VIII. Can we take another look at this guy? I did remember reading that he was very athletic, and then he suffered like some kind of ankle injury, made him depressed. Still not an excuse for beheading your wives, though. Decapitating pregnant women, imagine. Yeah, it's like, look, I'm pregnant, but is it a boy? It better not be a girl in there. I need a son. I need this kingdom to continue after I die. All right, Benjamin Franklin. He didn't want to get women Damn it, Light, why are you putting all these new words into my vocabulary? My history teacher joked that he ate a lot. Oh my god, that's so cringe. He didn't want to get women pregnant, so he decided the best way to do that, he had to get around all the time. He was a womanizer. He couldn't keep it in his pants. You guys know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about stuff like this because I don't wear pants, although you guys can't prove that. There's no proof that I do or do not wear pants, because you can't see under the screen. But because he didn't want to get women pregnant, he kind of developed this attraction to older women. So Benjamin Franklin, fiction, every time you use a $100 bill, just remember, Benjamin Franklin was into G-MILFs, okay? He was down there at the nursing home, knocking on the doors. He also said that he liked older women because when he was sick, they would take care of him, allegedly. He wrote like a whole thing about this. You could look it up. It was like, my thoughts on older women or something. He had mommy issues then, maybe. I don't know. I can't go back in time and ask him. All right, let's get Ben Franklin on the list. I don't know, somebody that likes older women enough to hit up the nursing home. I'd probably have to put him in the sheep category. Elizabeth Bloody Mary, right? Is that her name? Was she Bloody Mary? No, she was a Hungarian countess. And what she used to do was she used to find young women and then have them killed so she could bathe in their blood because she thought that would make her stay young. I don't know. Sounds like a crazy kind of jerk thing to do, don't you think? I'm kind of done with this tier list. I want to do something else. But yeah, I think she's a sheep. Okay, there's a couple more good ones on here. There's a couple more. Emperor Nero, not gonna go there. All right, here's one you may not have expected. Here's Dr. Seuss, okay? There's been a lot of controversy about Dr. Seuss. You know, it's been a little weird. When I was young, I used to enjoy the Dr. Seuss books, like Hop on Pop. Yeah, I don't want to talk about Dr. Seuss too much because, you know, we're on Twitch and, you know, I don't know if I'm even allowed to show his picture anymore. He's like a taboo person. But, you know, Cat in the Hat, kind of like a mid-book. Like, I feel like if you think Cat in the Hat is your favorite Dr. Seuss book, you're probably somebody that plays like Mario in Mario Kart, you know? Live a Little! There's other Dr. Seuss books. What about Horton Hears a Who? What about How the Grinch Stole Christmas? Feel his embrace. I don't want to feel Dr. Seuss's embrace, but you know who did? His mistress. His wife was paralyzed, and he had a mistress, okay? He was sleeping with his mistress. His wife caught wind of it, and decided that she would off herself just so her husband would be happy with his mistress. What the hell? I didn't know this about Dr. Seuss. I'm just reading about cats and hats. I don't need to know all this backstory about this guy. Also, is he even a doctor? What is he a doctor of? Let's put Dr. Seuss on the list. I'd have to put him, probably in the sheep category. Up next, anybody know this guy? Very notorious character in modern times. Yes, this is none other than Martin Shkreli, a name that even sounds like some kind of troll goblin creature. Yes, I'm sorry to remind you of him. He took control of a drug company, and because he had the power to do this, and really it was the only company that was selling the drug, he hiked the price up from $13 a pill to $750 per pill just for pure greed, because he could. You know how many people's lives are ruined because of that? Probably a lot. He did get his karma though, because he did get arrested for something, a securities fraud, whatever that is, some kind of financial crime. Ah yes, Shkreli, my arch nemesis. Let's put him on the tier list. Gonna shock you guys. I'm kind of thinking he should be in the sheep tier. Okay, let's go to the next one. Another surprising entry on the jerk tier list. E equals MC squared himself. Yeah, look, there he is. Look at he's got the same sad eyes as a kid, right? You could tell it's Einstein. Do you know what he won his Nobel Prize for? It was the photoelectric effect, right? It wasn't actually for E equals MC squared. All right, let's put Einstein on the tier list. We'll move to our final person on the tier list, and then we're gonna move on to something else. For Einstein, oh, I didn't even say what he did. Yeah, Einstein left his first wife for his cousin, but then cheated on her with his secretary. People say he had affairs with up to 6 women. Well, for all that Nobel Prize stuff, I mean, I'm gonna have to put him in the sheep tier. There we go. Last person on the tier list. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, you guys can't see him. You guys won't know who this is. Maybe if you're like, I don't know. If you're really into like medieval history or like English history, I should say. This is Matthew Hopkins. I think I'm saying that right. Known as the witch hunter, the general witch hunter. He gave himself his own title. He killed more witches than all the other witch hunters for the 100 years that came before him. He was a notorious witch hunter and killer. And I guess like you just get free reign to like kill witches. I don't know what the law was back then. Like, you just sign up to be a witch hunter. He had the highest kill-death ratio versus all the other witch hunters. He was on the top of the leaderboards. Yeah, he wouldn't cheat in a duel unlike someone on this list. Wait, let's go back to the list. Hold on a second. Who's cheating? Oh, literally all these people that cheated on their wives. I think it's time to read some stories about jerks. Some real-life stories from the internet about jerks. Here's a little story. It's from the Reddit called Am I an Asshole? Am I the Asshole? I gotta tell you guys, this is a very popular subreddit. I haven't been on here before, but I sorted these by the top posts, okay? We're gonna see if these guys are sheep or they're not sheep, right? That's what we're looking at here. Are they jerks or not jerks? Then we'll vote together. All right, let's get it started. This is the #1 story from Am I the Asshole? My brother-in-law lost his home shortly after his divorce 10 months ago. He moved in with us and brought his twin daughters with him a couple months ago. His sister, aka my wife, and I have one daughter, Zoe. They have no respect for Zoe's privacy, none. They used to walk into her room and take everything they get their hands on. Makeup, phone accessories, clothes, school laptop, etc. Zoe complained a lot, and I've already asked the girls to respect Zoe's privacy and to stop taking things. My wife and Sammy saw no issue with this. After all, they're girls, and that's typical teenage girl behavior. I completely disagree. The last straw was when Zoe bought a $60 MAC makeup kit that looks like a paint set and that she saved up for. I know those. Yeah, I've seen those before. Not that I use them. Come on. Sloan took it without permission and ruined it by mixing shades together. Don't know much about that makeup, but that's what Zoe said when she found the kit on her bed. This just sounds like drama. This sounds like an episode of like one of those high school drama shows. When Zoe found the kit on her bed, she was crying. I told my wife she'd ask Sloan to apologize, but I got Zoe a lock after I saw her moving valuable things out of the house because of the incident. Sammy and his daughters saw the lock and weren't happy. The girls were extremely upset. Sammy asked about it, and I straight up told him. He said, my daughters aren't thieves. It's normal that girls of the same age borrow each other's stuff. He said Zoe could easily get another makeup kit for 15 bucks from Walmart and shouldn't even be buying expensive adult makeup in the first place. What the? Walmart makeup? That's like one way to get an allergic reaction. I mean, I'm not sponsored by Walmart, I could say that. I told him that's between me and my wife, but she shamed me for putting a lock on Zoe's door for her cousins to see, preventing them from spending time. And with her, I feel like I'm not reading correctly. I was supposed to treat them like daughters, then demanded I remove it, but I said the lock does not get removed till her brother and his daughters are out of the house. She got mad, and I was implying we kicked them out, and her family will hate me for this. So, I remind her, I let Sammy and his family move in, which is something her own family refused to do, so she could start with the Alright, we get the point here, okay? So, the synopsis is, long story short, this guy lets these two, his, family into the house, and his daughters and son are going in his daughter's room, stealing her stuff, trashing her stuff, so they put a lock on the door. I gotta be honest with you guys. I see no problem with this at all. I see no problem. I don't think the guy that posted this is a jerk, right? He's not a jerk, but he should write novels. I know, right? Well, maybe that's why this was the most upvoted story on this website, right, on this subreddit. It sounds dumb because it's makeup, but imagine if your cousin ruined your Sega Genesis and then said you could get a bootleg version. Yeah, you could get a Tiger Electronics handheld game. Why does your kid need a Sega Genesis, huh? Get a Tiger Electronics handheld game. It'll be fun. You guys know the ones I'm talking about? Oh my gosh, they shouldn't even be considered video games. If I was president, I would outlaw Tiger Electronics handheld games. You know why? Because it's Tiger. It's a furry game. No other reason. Are they a jerk? I think not. I think this person is perfectly within their right mind to be able to lock their door for their daughter's room, especially when these other kids are just going in and trashing their stuff. All right, let's see what's next on the list here. I had a 1967 Impala 4-door that I bought February 2019. A couple months ago, I bought my first house that had a 2.55 car garage. I moved the car in and started tearing it down for a complete restoration. I had the body in one bay and the chassis in another, plus the whole garage filled with parts. About 2 months ago, my girlfriend came to live with me during the whole crisis, and the whole time has hated that car. She wants to park in the garage, but I have 2 acres of land with a lot of nice places to park under shady trees or hell, even in a barn if it has to be inside. Damn, this guy's got a barn? We got a real K-Konda telling us this story. I don't know, do you guys think if you have your own barn, that means you made it in the world? Anyways, I was out of town for a couple days on a business trip for some small company I work for. When I got back, my girlfriend was all smiles. You know she's up to no good. Making me food all the time, doing all the chores, all that. I thought maybe she was just happy to have me home, but I realized that I didn't see her car in the usual spot. I asked her where she parked so I could make sure I mow the area and keep it clean, and she said not to worry about it because she parked in the garage. I asked how, and she told me to go check it out. Turns out, while I was gone, she hired some people to come over and move everything related to the car, including the drivetrain, body and chassis, all the parts, and take it to the local dump and scrapyard. I was absolutely dumbfounded. I spent over $11K on that car, including new parts, services, and the car itself. I told her I was going to be taking her to court for that, and she brushed me off like I was being dramatic. I told her that it's done between us and to pack her things and leave. Oh my gosh, we got some drama here. I wonder what compelled her to have this idea and think that she would get away with it. Like, she thought making some nice dinners for this guy would make it okay. You don't mess with the guy's car, okay? Have you ever seen Fast and the Furious? I told her it's done between us, pack her things. I admit I was really angry, but I did end up getting a lawyer, and as I have all the receipts for the money spent, and I have her on my house's security cam footage, letting the guys in, watching them take all of it, I think I could win. Absolutely. I 100% think this guy could win. Her family and friends are absolutely blowing me up, saying it's just a stupid old piece of junk, that she cannot pay back all the money I spent, and that I should let it go. But I've been putting all my time, effort, and money into that car for a year and a half now, and god damn it if I'm not gonna get justice for what she did. Oh, that sucks. That was like a project he was really passionate about. Update: we went to the police station last night, was told to come back in the morning, just got back and filed an official report against her for grand larceny and Grand Theft Auto. You're bringing Grand Theft Auto into this? Where's CJ? Is CJ involved? All he had to do was follow the damn train. Wait, they found my car? Oh, they found his car at the junkyard. The guys apparently were in the middle of hiding it when the police came to ask them questions. It was on a forklift, and they were gonna put it on top of a pile of cars. Oh my gosh! What a crazy story. Okay, so the guy got his car back. I love a story with a happy ending, don't you guys? You guys are all on the same page as me. Congratulations. No, you don't win any points. This was a clear, obvious answer. Of course the girl is the jerk in this situation. Could you imagine if you were working on a project in your garage? It doesn't even have to be a car. Think about something that you're passionate about, okay? And you're working on it for a year and a half, and then either your girlfriend or your sister, or I don't know, maybe you live in the South. Maybe your girlfriend slash sister. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding all you folks from the South. Maybe they come and ruin your project because they're tired of looking at it. You come back and you see that. What are you gonna think? It's horrible. All right, let's do one more story, and then we're gonna play a sheep game. Am I the asshole for wanting to go to a funeral of a girl that I helped get addicted to drugs? All right, this is the dad joke. Note, my stepdaughter, Madeline, was about a year old when I married her mother, Jessica. Madeline's father died before she was born. Oh, that's sad. Madeline is currently 15 and she's rebelling for almost everything. She did something bad, so while picking her up, I set a punishment up for her. And then she said, "You're not my dad, I don't have to follow you." Honestly, I got a bit hurt from that, but I understand that she didn't mean it, and that she'd probably change. I just replied, "I'm still your legal guardian for the next 3 years, and as long as you're in my house, you have to follow my rule." Damn, stepdad vibes. So that happened about 2 days ago. Our family was going grocery shopping when Madeline said, "I'm hungry, I need food." I decided to be extremely cheeky and say, "Hi, hungry, I'm not your dad." Oh, sick burn! Got him! Damn, this guy's a savage. My son just started to laugh uncontrollably. My daughter was just quiet with embarrassment, and my wife was berating me. No, not to swoop down to her level. I honestly thought it was a funny dad joke. Edit, I adopted her, so legally I'm her parent. Okay, hold on a second. Is this person a jerk? I don't know. This was a quick short story here. My dad was kind of like, my dad was definitely a sheep. Do you guys know this? I happen to think, okay, my humble opinion, I think the guy went a little too far, okay? Yes, it was a dad joke, but you're supposed to be mature about it. It sounded like he was being petty, like he got butthurt about what his daughter said, and he wanted to get back at her. Like he was being petty about it. And you know what? Having your dad, even if it's your stepdad, tell you that I'm not your dad, I think it could be a little traumatizing if you're a kid. Add in the fact that like the brother was just laughing at her, I think it was a bad take. So, are they a jerk? I think this guy is a jerk. Am I the jerk for pretending to get fired when customers get a temper with me? This sounds like it's gonna be funny. I'm a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop. My coworkers who work weekends are James, the owner's son. He goes to my school. He's a shift manager, but not a real formal thing. He's a friendly guy. Danielle, a college student who sometimes works weekends too. So sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about such little stuff. Yeah. Anybody work in retail? Sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about little stuff, just literally blow up about nothing. I don't know if they're in a bad mood already and looking for someone to take it out on or what, but it's a lot. Like, how sad do you have to be to be a grown-ass man taking your anger out on high school and college kids. Yeah, that's kind of messed up. But then again, like, high school kids can be very disrespectful, you know? It depends. It depends on the situation. Maybe this guy isn't giving us the full story. So James and I were joking about having a little fun with them and hopefully getting them off our backs. So one day I was at work when some guy was having a temper about how we don't make the coffee hot enough, which I couldn't do a thing about because I gave him it right out of the machine. Yeah, I mean, ever since that McDonald's lawsuit, I don't think they make the coffee super hot, right? Ever since that lady spilled coffee on her lap and, like, won tons of money from McDonald's because the coffee was too hot. So James came in and was like, "Sir, there's a problem here." And the guy started ranting at him, too. So he was like, "This is unacceptable. You're fired." I started acting real sad, like, "No, please don't fire me. My family needs the money. I need this job, please." And he played it up, being a hard ass, telling me to take my apron off and leave. The angry guy started to backtrack, saying it's not a big problem. You don't need to fire her over it. I didn't mean it. And James was like, "No, we pride ourselves on the best customer service." Of course, after all that drama, I still had my job. We were just acting. We've done it a couple times whenever a customer will lose their temper. It's satisfying. People realize their actions might actually have consequences. Anyway, I was telling my friends from school about this, and a few of them thought it was a mean prank. So what do you guys think? I think it's fine. They're just high school kids. You know, they're playing a prank. I mean, I gotta think about some of the pranks that we did in high school. It was way worse than that. No, it was nothing that hurt anybody, but like, you know, we were definitely pranksters. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take another short Fox break, and when we get back, we're gonna finally, after 2 hours of being in this field with all these sheep, we're gonna say goodbye to this sheep. I'm gonna get the sheep off my head, actually. Goodbye. I need a quick break, guys. I'm gonna take a 3-minute ad break. We'll be back with a sheep game on the Sony PlayStation right after this message from our sponsors.